Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Vibhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indra Vruddhashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starksho Arishtanevihi Swastina Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Parikshalokan karmachitan Brahmano nirvedamayad Nastya kritah kritena Tadvijnanartham Sagurumeva bhigachet Samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham Tadvijnanartham Saha Guru eva abhigachet. For the knowledge of the self, he must necessarily approach a teacher, approach with humility. Tad vidhi pranipatena, with prostration, shows his humility, shows the shraddha or the implicit trust that he has in the teacher. Shows also the spirit of surrender, meaning that surrender is not an act of helplessness. Surrender is something that happens when you feel that you are safe and secure here. That now there is nothing to worry about. Just as Arjuna handed over the reins of his chariot to Lord Krishna and he was secure. Similarly also, the disciple feels he is in the right place, he is secure, nothing to worry about, he will be taken care of. Handing over the reins of his chariot of life to the teacher. as you said yesterday, that this thing can happen in time, but when this happens, when the disciple discovers that Shraddha and Bhakti for the teacher, it is something that you discover in your heart, not something that you can will. I cannot will Shraddha or Bhakti, it has to happen. Just as I cannot will love, it has to happen. And if it doesn't happen right away, then we have to subject ourselves to or allow ourselves to go through a process of situation which is conducive for that to happen, which is what Lord Krishna means by sevaya, by seva. Tamaradya gurum bhaktya prakhva prashraya sevanaihi. Vivek Chudamani says prakhva prashraya sevanaihi. Bhaktya gurum aradhya. Adoring, worshipping the teacher with devotion. Prakhva prashraya sevanaihi. By service at the level of the physical level, by the right words of humility and praise, and by the right attitude of the mind. All the three are included. Prakhva, prashraya, sevanaihi. With the body, speech and the mind, adoring the teacher, serving the teacher. So that way, as we said, the relationship or a bond slowly gets established. And teacher also comes to know of this aspirant, his sincerity. Prasannam tamanuprapya. When the teacher becomes pleased with you. In this case, the specific reason for being pleased with the student is when the teacher discovers that the student is devoted to knowledge. That is his agenda, primary agenda. That this person is here with no agenda other than knowledge. Tasmai savidvan upasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya. Even Upanishad also says, after this mantra that we have taken, the following mantra says, what should the teacher do? Is there any duty on the part of the teacher? Before we proceed there, let us take the next one. This verse also describes how a teacher is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So, ideal teacher is qualified as Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. Basically, Shrotriya means one who is well versed in the Vedas. It's called Shro. So, Chandaha Adhite. One who has studied the Vedas very well is called Shrotriya. Meaning that one who is very well versed with the scriptures. One who is, and what we mean by very well is, one who knows the tatparya, the purport of the scriptures. The scholarship is one thing which is good to have, but even more important thing is the clarity as to what it is that the Shastra really wants to convey to us. What is the intended meaning of these words? It's called tatparya, the purport. So here is the teacher must be the one who very clearly understands the purport, the tatparya of the Shastra. And tatparya is only one. Is to impart the knowledge of the identity of the individual in Brahman, or the identity, oneness, obtaining in and through all the diversity. That's a unique vision that Vedanta provides, is the vision of unity in diversity. The diversity is what we experience. Everybody experiences that. And habitually we take that diversity to be real also, because habitually we take as real whatever it is that we perceive. I perceive myself as also an individual confined to this body, mind, sense complex, and I perceive others also in that way, and I take that to be the reality. So today, and this is because of ignorance. Because of ignorance of the true nature of myself, I take myself to be a limited being. And therefore for me this duality, diversity, division, separatedness, put it this way. Even manyness is not a problem, diversity also is not a problem. The problem is division is a problem. What is meant by duality? The two doesn't make duality, that you are one and I am other one. That doesn't necessarily make duality. By duality we mean that which is the source of the sense of separatedness. And so this duality is what we would call mutual exclusion. Anyonya abhavaha. Duality also is called bheda. Anyonya abhava means mutual exclusion. You know what is meant by that is, just as this flower is one entity, and maybe this thing is another entity. This is a flower vase, which is one thing. This is a flower, yet another thing. What is flower is not the flower vase. What is flower vase is not the flower, isn't it? That's very clear. When the thought of flower occurs in my mind, and then next, when the thought of flower vase occurs in my mind, that thought is completely displaced. The thought of this object called flower vase completely displaces the thought of the flower in my mind. You follow? The patent example of Vedanta is Ghatapata. And so these are not very good examples in terms of pronunciation of words. So Ghata. So when the thought of Ghata or a pot takes place in my mind, let us write now, then this is Pata, cloth. So when the thought of Pata or cloth comes, at that time the thought of the pot is completely displaced. There is no partness whatever in the cloth, isn't it so? When you think of a cloth, it is totally devoid of the idea of partness. And when you think of a pot, it is totally devoid of the idea of clothness, correct? When you think of pot, there is no cloth anywhere in your mind at that time. When you think of cloth, there is no pot anytime. You follow? That means that the pot is completely different from a cloth, and cloth is completely different from pot. Or you can say that the pot excludes the cloth and cloth excludes the pot. It's called a mutual exclusion or bheda. Now, we can give another example. Yeah, here. This is a precious thing, so it's kept inside this. It is golden chain. Oh, there is another one here, right? See that? So what is this? Is it Bengal? No, what is this? It is an earring? This is Bengal? This is band only? Okay. somebody's hearing. That's a big thing, big hearing. But you never know. These days hearings are pretty, pretty big. So think of this object. Let's say it's a band. Think of the object which is a chain. So when you think of the object called the band, there is also in that, now when you think of this other object, does it completely exclude the other thing? In this band there is also the idea of gold involved. In this other object also the idea of gold is involved. Meaning that this band does not completely exclude the chain does not completely exclude the band. Or better than that, this band does not, even the gold is one thing, this band is another thing, bangle. And still when you think of the bangle, the gold is not completely excluded there, isn't it? So bangle does not exclude gold. Or bangle does not exclude completely chain also, because even though these are two entities, still they are not totally exclusive of each other because there is something common between them also. So similarly, all these different ornaments are there. Imagine each one of us is an ornament. Simply at the level of name and form, one ornament excludes the other ornament. Think of bangle, then is bangle, then is a chain is a chain. But from the level of gold, they exclude, even name and form excludes the other name and form, but does not exclude gold. So here we all appreciate or perceive names and forms and believe that that is the ultimate reality of what I perceive, and therefore I think that this is different, that is different, this is different. Thinking that this is one object, this is bangle, other object called the chain, third object called the earring, and they are each different because each has a different name and form and use, everything is different. But then if you go a step further and realize that each one of this is gold also, from standpoint of gold, then they do not exclude the gold. Similarly also say that all that are what you perceive are all the ornaments, names and forms. And this name and form is not the ultimate reality of the object. Gold is a reality. In that case, you also include the idea of gold. I also include the idea of the gold from the standpoint of gold. You do not exclude me, I do not exclude you. So Vedanta says that what you perceive are names and forms which are all different from each other. But that is not the ultimate reality. Each name and form is made of gold. In this case, Brahman. What's the gold here? Brahman is gold. Each one of us is made of Brahman. Can you believe that? That's the material. What's the material of which we are all made? Brahman or God. And so if you take the reality into account, and you find that all of them in fact include each other. It's all inclusive. So gold includes all the ornaments. Brahman includes all the names and forms. And that is the reality. The name and form has some reality in terms of vyavaharik satta or in terms of usefulness. Certainly, that there is some difference between a bangle and a chain, that I use bangle in one way and chain in a different way. We respect those differences. While respecting a difference, we keep in mind also the oneness that exists between them, then those differences are not a problem. Then they become really what you call an object of, and they become ornament, they become enjoyment. But if difference alone is the criterion, then they become all problem. Then of course, like this poor fellow, this is a bangle and this is a chain. Then our Swamiji's story, this Bengal is very jealous of this chain. Because chain is worn in the neck, is very well protected. This bangle is worn in the wrist. And if this happens to a maid servant, then she sometimes washing clothes and sometimes cleaning the vessels and doing all kinds of things. Poor bangle keeps on, I guess it keeps on banging. That's why it must be called bangle. And also now it is hot water, cold water, heat, etc. So all subject to different elements is suffering. And things, look at how fortunate this chain is. It's protected from everything, How nice if I were a chain. You know what chain thinks? This woman who wears me generally covers me. In India they all, so there you hardly see this chain. Look at the bangle, everybody sees that. And then when you in the sunlight or in light, it glitters and draws everybody's attention, and so this chain thinks that nobody looks at me, and look at this bangle, how fortunate it is. This is called moment division comes and jealous, the comparison comes and jealousies come and competitions come and the whole samsara comes. It's called complex. A whole complex of sense of individuality, separatedness, inferiority, superiority, jealousies, competition, aggressiveness, hurt, guilt, everything will come. Moment a chain is looked upon as different from a bangle. Moment I look upon myself as completely different from you, then you exclude me and I exclude, because what that is not this one. If name and form is only reality about you and me, then certainly that name and form is different, its own uniqueness, its own distinction. This one is different. So comparison, human mind is another problem. We compare. See, dogs and cats don't compare, so there is no problem. There can be a pedigree dog, which wins the race and competition, and other dogs also are there. They don't feel jealous, I don't think so. No comparison. The human being keeps comparing, feels jealous, and then he then feels inferior, and then he wants to accept himself, so he should become superior, and so he must compete. And how this duality called bheda. What is bheda? Mutual exclusion. So tatparya is that even though superficially at the level of perception of senses and mind there is duality which we do not deny. There's a name and form and function, that's all different. But that's not the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality is the goal from which we are all made, which is Brahman, which is Ishvara, God or consciousness. So one who understands this tatparya, to understand all kinds of mantras and vyakaranam and this and that is one thing, that can be scholarship. You can take one and expand for 15 days and this a scholar can take this mantra and talk for 15 days. I'll run out of the ideas in 1 day or 2 days, for perhaps. He can take pariksha and show you, what all the vyakaranam involved in there, and loka another vyakaranam, and then give lecture on every word. That's also a way of doing things, which is its own kind of intellectual gratification. But what is the tatparya, what it is that is sought to be conveyed in terms of what is important to us in our life? In what way does this mantra, what does it convey as far as the main agenda of my life is concerned? That is what is important. Ultimately, what is most important to us is ourselves. And anything becomes important only when that connects itself to us, otherwise there is no importance at all. History and geography and all those things never interested me. Rivers are there and mountains are there and crops are there, and I could never remember those things also, history all. Because no connection with I. When does it become interesting? When it is connected to me. If the teacher of history really is an intelligent teacher, he can show me how the history has affected me, how I am product of that history, or how I am product of a geography. This is what dawned on me many years ago when I was sitting in my office there in New York City looking at the world map. I said, look at this geography, it creates history. Because these two countries are together and they compete and fight, therefore the whole history was created, and history creates geography, and both of them create me. So when I see connection of myself with those things, then I am excited to learn about history and geography. So that's the teacher who shows how you are connected with that. What does it mean to me? Whatever the Upanishad says, let it say what it says. It's nice to know, but what does it mean to me? Ultimately, Tatparya is myself, is Tatparya, the purport of everything. I am the center of everything, as far as I am concerned. It doesn't matter to me, nothing else really matters to me. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Whatever is dear to me is for my sake, and not dear to me also is for my sake. I am the center of my life. Therefore, anything becomes relevant to me only when I see the connection with the self or I. And this is what a teacher will show us. So teachers are different fellows from scholars. That doesn't mean a scholar cannot be a teacher cannot be a scholar. But their emphasis is different. Their priorities are different. The way they look at the scriptures is a different thing. So this teacher is scholar enough called Shrotriya in as much as they understand the scriptures well and also knows how to communicate with the student. In the words of Swamiji, one who uses the word, one who knows how to use the words. Because words are through what everything is communicated. This is a Shabda. The words of the Upanishad are the Pramanam, the means of knowledge. Therefore, the understanding the meaning of word is the most important. And teacher makes a student see the meaning of the words. That's called Shrotriya, one who has the ability to communicate and make the student see what he sees. Yattat pashyasi tadvada, Nasiketa asks Yamaraja. Yattat pashyasi tadvada. What do you see? You please tell me that. Anyatra dharmad, etc. So this is, I want to know this truth, different dharma and adharma, different past, present, future, which you see, you please tell me. So this Brahmanishta, the one who is abiding in Brahman, sees and then he communicates that. Meaning that is not just an intellectual knowledge that he shares, but is something that is a reality to that for him, and that's what he communicates. So Brahmanishta is one for whom Brahman is reality, and Shrotriya is the one who knows how to communicate that reality. And by communication we mean who knows how to make the student see that reality. That's the whole purpose. The teachers, as far as Guru is concerned, the Guru's agenda is not simply telling what the scriptures say, is making the student see, meaning that the Guru is committed to the well-being of the disciple. He's not a professor who comes and gives just talks, and that he is interested in the well-being of the disciple. That's why Lord Krishna can ask Arjuna, even at the end of 18th chapter, that Arjuna, have you understood what I said or not? Did you listen to carefully what all I said during this time? Has your delusion gone? Have you understood? And are you now free? Lord Krishna is pretty sure that he is, but he still wants Arjuna to, acknowledge. Arjuna acknowledges. Nasto moha, my delusion is gone. In case Arjuna did not say, still I am not clear, Lord, suppose Arjuna said that, then in Gita, instead of 18, they may have 36 chapters because another, because this is Lord Krishna's commitment. It's not just to give lectures. To make sure that Arjuna is liberated, that the well-being of the disciple is the purpose or is the agenda of the Guru. That's why he is called Guru. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. So, this kind of teacher, one should approach. Why do you find, God knows where do you find him, but so there is no way for us to really know whether he is Brahmanistha or not. Shrotriyatva means that we can see that he seems to... Brahmanistha we don't know, but then some of the signs of Brahmanistha are described in Bhagavad Gita. Dveshta sarvabhutana maitra karuna. You find that he is no dvesha. He is friendly, he is compassionate, he is kind, this, that. Then we can sort of give him a benefit of doubt. And Shrotriyatvam, whether he communicates well or not, that also we will know. So although this text says that he should go to a Guru who is Shrotriya and Brahmanistha, there is no way for us or him to determine whether this person is Shrotriya or not. But from the external signs, like Viveka Chudamani describes his Guru, Shrotriya Avrajinaha. Shrotriya is the same word that comes from here. And Avrujina is a word that comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So in Taittiriya, Shrotriyascha Akamahatascha. In Taittiriya Upanishad, a wise person is described as Shrotriya Akamahata. Shrotriya means again one who is learned, knowledgeable. Akamahata, one is free from all kama or the cravings. Free from all cravings and demands and expectations and needs and wants. And in Brihadaranyaka one more adjective, Avrujinaha. One is, Avrujina means sinless. Shrotriya, Avrujinaha, Akamahat. So Viveka Chudamani, combines all of them. Shrotriya, Avrujinaha, Akamahataha. A person who is well versed in scriptures, Avrujinaha, who is sinless. Akamata, free from all kama or cravings or desires or demands or expectations. Brahmavittamaha, one who is most exalted in the knower is Brahman. Shantaha, one who enjoys the tranquility. And what is most relevant to us is Bandhu Anamatam Satam, one who is the benefactor of all those who approach him. And also, he is the Ahetuka Daya Sindhu, one who is the ocean of compassion for no reason at all. Ahetuka means for no reason at all he is compassionate. Not compassionate, Daya Sindhu, ocean of compassion. And also, one who is a benefactor of all those who approach him, who surrender to him. So this is how scriptures also describe the attributes of a Guru. The reason is that is when you can safely surrender to this person because you are safe. You will not be taken advantage of. You will not be exploited. Not only that, but here is a person whose only agenda is to make sure that your agenda is fulfilled, that you really gain the true purushartha or goal in your life. Samitpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Serving this teacher with the actions at the level of body, with the right words, right attitudes in the mind. Prasannam tamanuprapya. When you find that the Guru is pleased with you. Now, these Gurus can't be bribed, otherwise we can give him a big donation and he becomes pleased with us and does things for us. But these gurus can't be bribed. So then what will please him? You mean Swamiji is not otherwise pleased? That I have to please him? No, he is pleased. Then what is this prasanna when you find the Guru pleased? Pleased with you meaning what? Some special pleasure is there for the Guru. He is pleased in general, with himself and with everybody. But when you find there an aspirant whose agenda is a mumuksha, he is seeking moksha, that's a rare thing. To find one who only wants moksha and nothing else, a rare entity. Not only the moksha, but it's jignasu, meaning the one who has discovered that what I want is knowledge, and that is what, because ignorance is my problem, and knowledge is solution to my problem. That maturity this person has, the teacher becomes pleased. Really speaking, the teachers also are in the lookout for disciples like that. It's not, disciples don't come just like that. I mean, people don't, why should anybody sit here and to listen to this kind of thing? These classes that are going on, who can sit there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4th hour? Only when there is something special there. This is something very dry, otherwise there is, in terms of entertainment standpoint, there is no entertainment here. It is of a very subtle level it is, but not of, common entertainment that you understand. And there are not many jokes also, there is not much, but so who will be able to sit here? There must be something special there. In some way this gets communicated and you find meaning and usefulness in this and relevance in this, and in some way it touches you, affects you, helps you. So that is something very, very special. That shows a certain maturity of the mind which has discovered a value for this knowledge. We may not be all Nachiketas, etc., we admit. Even Swami used to say Nachiketa is a rare entity. That's Vedanta talks sadhana chatushraya sampanna. You may have heard this. Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. Sadhana, Chatushraya, Sampanna, Adhikarinam. So, Tattva begins with that. Then this text is now being expounded for those who possess this fourfold qualification. There will be nobody qualified really. Swami used to say, there is no sadhana, Sampanna is not there. So that at least give us consolation, all right. Otherwise we will be excluded. But that somebody comes. They say, Paunaf punyena shravanam kuryat, may you expose yourself teaching again and again and again. And every time we listen, it has an impact upon us, to whatever degree. It gives some clarity, some insight comes. So every time I hear, I learn something, hopefully. But Swamiji, I listen enough now, I have to do something. Now, that is another nonsense, When you hear, automatically doing takes place. When you hear and realize what is true and what is the right thing for you, so that connection has to take place. To define this mananam in a little different way. Shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam, these 3 words are used. What is mananam? Is I would think, is translating what I learned from Shravanam. Now we listen to this. We understand the principles because what is being said here is said for everybody in general. What does it mean to me in particular? So that teaching which is generally given, how does it apply to me particularly? No, that work I have to do. The 10th man story applies to everybody. In what way I am the 10th man? In which way what am I searching for? How am I searching with the 10th man? What does it mean in my life? Various desires I am having, what's the desire behind? How is that desire comparable to the achievement of what is already achieved? We have to see that in our own life. Sometimes that work is not done, meaning that connection is not established. Therefore, sometimes we do not get connected with the teaching in our life. Then this kind of statement comes that now I have to do something. But when we listen and understand, and whatever we understood, whatever much less we understood, our attempt should be to see what it means to me, in what way is it relevant to me. Then I will know how to put it into practice. So the way when we understand, it is going to change our thinking, it is going to change our attitudes, priorities, attitudes, values, it is going to change. Because our intellect always loves truth. And as we understand the truth, our intellect will love that, and therefore it will want to put it into practice. So, Shravanam, Manam, and then Nididhyasanam, of course, is putting into practice. So, Shravanam is understanding, Mananam, translating the understanding with reference to myself, Nididhyasanam, putting that into practice. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. This is what we have to do. But as I said, the teachers also look forward to having the right kind of disciples. I said yesterday, the passage, after this passage in the Mundaka Upanishad, says, Tasmai Savidwan Upasannaya Samyak. That Guru, the teacher, this noble soul, when he finds that here is someone who has approached me in a correct manner, meaning there is the right attitude, Prashanta Chittaya Shamanvita, he finds that here is a disciple or an aspirant who enjoys the tranquility of the mind, who has control over himself. Then teacher should provachatam tattvato brahma vidya. Upanishad says that then the teacher should impart knowledge to him. Actually, there is no do's and don'ts for a wise person, meaning that even Upanishad also cannot say you do this. A wise person is the one who is beyond this idea of the duties, etc. And therefore, Vedas also do not and cannot compel him to do something. But Upanishad says he should impart this knowledge. Upanishad is certain that he will impart the knowledge. When you find the right person, automatically he'll be motivated to do that. Yena aksharam purusham veda satyam, that knowledge by which he knows the purusha, the consciousness, satyam which is reality, satyam jnanam anandam, that knowledge he should impart. Thus Samitpanahi, with the right attitude, Shrotriam Brahmanishtam, the right teacher, when he surrenders, then Lord Krishna says, Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha, the wise and learned ones will definitely impart knowledge to you. Lord Krishna says to Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, understand this process by which you can gain the knowledge. The process is pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. You go and prostrate to the teacher, serve him, win his heart, win his trust and heart. And when he is pleased with you, then ask the right question. So another instruction they give is that you should ask for this knowledge. It should not be imparted unless it is asked for. Naprustha kasyachit bruyat. This should not be imparted to one who has not asked for it. So we find that formality, not formality, but that pattern, that an aspirant approaches a master and asks a question. And what is Upanishad is nothing but unfoldment. The answer to that question is the Upanishad. Some Upanishads we don't know who. So some Upanishads tell us who the Guru is and who the disciple is. Like this mantra we have taken from Mundaka Upanishad, Shaunako hoi mahashalaha, Angirasam vivadat upasannaha papracha. There the disciple is Shaunaka and the Guru is Angiras, we are told. And then the disciple approaches the teacher and asks a question. Kasmin bhago vijñāte sarana vijñātam bhavati. O revered sir, what is it knowing which everything becomes known? I want to know everything. Is there something knowing which everything becomes known? Question. And then the Mundaka Upanishad is answer to that question. It's interesting that on one hand, the subject matter of all Upanishad is only one, and that is to reveal the identity, reveal the fact that you are Brahman. The only subject matter of Upanishad is to reveal the fact that you are limitless. You are complete. You are whole. There is no lack or want in you. Meaning lack and want that you are feeling right now is on account of not knowing who you are, is ignorance that brings about this kind of conclusions. But you are whole, complete. You are limitless. Ashochan, don't grieve. There is no reason for grief at all in life. That's what every Upanishad teaches, but in a different way. Because an Upanishad is a dialogue between a teacher and a student. And student approaches the teacher with a question. Now everybody has their own orientation, and so everybody comes from a different background and wants to know the truth in a different way. And therefore, even though the subject matter, all Upanishad is one, every Upanishad unfolds that subject matter in its own unique way. And that's the reason why we study so many Upanishads. So Swami, you studied one, what's the difference between one and the two? Difference is the method of contemplation upon the truth. Each Upanishad provides its own way of how to contemplate upon this truth. So this is the mantra that we selected for this session from the Mundaka Upanishad, which tells us the Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam, Jignasutvam. What is Viveka? Nastya kritah kritena, the uncreated cannot be attained by karma. What I am seeking, uncreated, nitya, eternal is what I am seeking. And it can't be attained, it is already attained, it is to be known. So Vairagya, therefore, he has no use now for any achievements because his achievement is already what is already achieved. So Viveka brings about Vairagya, which Vairagya brings about the emotional maturity, which brings about the desire for knowledge, tadvijnanartham, which results into is renouncing what is doing now, approaching the teacher, and taking refuge of the teacher. And certainly the teacher will impart him the knowledge of the fact that you are Brahman, you are limitless. So this mantra has everything in it. Very beautiful mantra from the Mundaka Upanishad. So we conclude our discussion at this point of this mantra. And with that, our short camp also comes to a conclusion. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Before we disperse, there is a little couple of no question answer. No, because we don't have time. So we invite our Ashokji to give a little presentation of this project. And then he plans to take also, all of you are interested for a tour of the new building to explain what is that. So between that we'll have a little ceremony when you receive the dakshina. We have a little gift for you, a little booklet. So when Ashok finishes his presentation, he will invite you to come one by one and receive that prasad, and then join him, if you like, for a tour to the new building.
Pranam Swamiji, Pranam everybody. Before we go to have a tour of the new complex, I thought maybe I'll give a little few words of background. We had, as Lata Pimpalaskar mentioned yesterday, that when this property was purchased, it had 15 summer cottages. The major problem in those cottages was the mold. Nobody wanted to stay those when they came for the camps. That was a major problem. And so we had, new cottages were built at that time. Most of the help was by the students. As Lata mentioned, from the West Coast, they had a 2.5-year course, and they came here to help Swamiji to establish this center. And it's a small change that there's not all of them Westerners. There were quite a few Indians were studying with Swamiji also in 2.5-year course in PRC. And some of those Indians also came here to help Swamiji out.
He was one of them.
Well, thanks. Based on the purpose of this place, this teaching tradition, which is to give the knowledge, all of us know that, Puja Swamiji's idea was that when the people come here, they have worked hard, they want to come and listen, they come for the camps, they have given up their vacation, they come with their children, or they are here for the weekend, that they should just come and relax. Because our teaching tradition is the tradition of knowledge. You have attended the whole camp. Suppose you have here, you want to gain the knowledge, and there's distractions all over the place. You didn't have good sleep, you have back problem, bed was not good, this and that.
Food was not good.
Food was not good.
There was no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
Bed was not comfortable.
Yeah. So what happens, your mind is distracted. So Puja Swamiji wanted to have a place where you don't get distracted. That's why he didn't even want the people who come here, who are working people, to come and start doing the different jobs like the students used to do it, because they were full-time here. So that's why the concept came of having the new small buildings, small cottages, replace those cottages, and start hiring new staff. So, but one thing though it disturbed me yesterday was, there was full of mold, and our living in the West is, we have certain standard. And we cleaned up the place. And once we cleaned up the place, I don't know when this idea came, a clean place is equal to 5-star hotel. The room I live in, when somebody is snoring next room, I could hear. It disturbs my, I could hear it. I'm used to it now. But I don't know if the 5-star hotels happens the same thing. I have never stayed in one. Sharon Cliff, she used to have landscaping was all done by her with her own money. So we should have told her, don't clean this place. It looks like a 5-star hotel. Leave it dirty. This is wrong. We got to have a clean place. Otherwise, the next generation will never show up here. They have learned certain standard. Our next generation is doing very well. If you want them to come, have functions here, you got to have it equivalent to what we cannot be completely equivalent. If you go and see the Christians or other religions, the places of worship, they're spotless. So I think we have to say that we have a nice, clean place, That's my second point. But it is, our attitude is that this is your home. It's built by the donation of a lot of people, small or large. And we respect each and every one of them. We welcome each and every one of them. And we don't put pressure on people. We don't put them on spot. When they come, they should not worry about any of these, have to worry about this, somebody's going to be after me. No. Just come and relax. So, and also each and every corner, if you see, is built by the donations of the people. We don't have any business. We depend upon people, and they have come forward. The money has come from their heart. See, when this project came, it was supposed to be 8 million. Okay? And then 2 million were given by Amitabh Patel. And then another anonymous donor came up and said, if you have matching funds of 2.5, I'll give 2.5. So then how are we going to get 2.5 million? Then Piyush Bhai decided, okay, let's have 100 people giving 25,000. Then he went to Puja Swamiji. Puja Swamiji said, Piyush Bhai, where are you going to find 100 people who are giving that much money? We were struggling all the time. And today, we have more than 100 people. We have 112. It's all because you understand what this place offers. This place deserves. So, and yesterday, Kiran Bahan, she mentioned that, we cannot have the same base. She's absolutely correct. And she was also absolutely correct that we have expenses are going to increase. In fact, that was the objection of many of the board members when the building was was just an idea. That how come we are increasing, and what about the expenses will increase? Where are we going to get the expenses, the increased expenses? So, but the thing is though that Puja Swamiji wanted it not because he wanted a building. Puja Swamiji can foresee, we saw in all his past, decisions. He could foresee what is needed in the future. So Puja Swamiji's Sankalpa came for that reason. So we followed Puja Swamiji's what he wanted. Not just because he wanted the building, just because his judgment always happens to be correct. And those people who were, not in favor of this decision, some of the board members also were there, and we respect them. We love them all because a family. Like you are now a part of our family. because you are the ones who are supporting this place. And in the family, we have disagreements. Some people, you know very well in your family. Different ideas will be there. But then we all join together. We support Puja Swamiji, we support this teaching tradition. Another Kiran man was said that, I hope it doesn't become a commercialized place. It will not become a commercialized place. It will never become a commercialized place. Why? Because the teaching tradition here is kept by the teachers who are traditional teachers. That's why they didn't want this building before. It will be only by the people who respect this teaching tradition, who come here for this teaching tradition. Because you supported it, so if your children ask for it, there should be a place here for them. And those donors who are all over this country and Canada also, who have given substantial amount of money, all these buildings are built by them. And if they say, well, we want to have function here, religious functions, cultural function, why should we say no? It's your place, you built it. So, but it will not become commercialized. We're not going to advertise, come here for distant weddings. It's a nice place here. We never will do that. I'm sorry, just a little bit more. I just want to make sure I cover all the points. The building plan started in 2010. I must acknowledge here. In 2010, I was not here. It was Anand Gupta and Puja Swamiji. Anand Gupta worked very hard for 3 years. He got the permit. He faced a lot of obstructions. He was a retired person. He traveled to and fro to see different places. Okay. But then because of health reason, he had to leave to be with his family members in California. At that time, Puja Swamiji asked me to come and manage this project. So we are thankful to him. Okay. So how should we thank you or thank other donors? The donors who have given small money, donors who have given large money. We don't have words to thank you. We can only pray that may the Lord bless you and your family, this great teaching. As Dr. Reddy said last night, this building is meant for next generation. This is a gift from Puja Swamiji to the children. So after the Guru Dakshina, let us visit the glory of the Lord. Okay, thank you.
So, if you are interested to continue this serious teaching, Swamiji will be conducting Bhashyam camp in July 7th through 14th. I would not say that if you have time, I would reverse it, make time for it, because you're all interested. So, and immediate one would be Kumbhabhishekam, which will be starting on June 29th for 3 days. June 29th, 30th, and concluding will be on July 1st with Abhisheka to Gopuram, that is Vimanam, and Lord Dakshinamurti. It will be a wonderful program, and Swamiji will be giving talk on that day. So please update your calendar and make sure that you all become part of this function. So now this will be concluded because Swamiji has to take Bhagavad Gita class, and you're all welcome to stay back for this class, which is scheduled to start at 10 o'clock. And I take this opportunity to thank our Dr. Pramod Deshmukh, who suggested this camp to happen. Pramodji. suggested, and Swamiji validated it, and it came out so well. And more update about the building, Ashokji has already given. And contractor is promising that it will be in September, but I will not give any date. But idea is keep the September month a little bit free, and if everything goes well, which will, you're all part of that this project, and we want you to come and attend the inauguration, whatever will be decided by Swamiji and Avantika Behan and Piyush Bhai. But that's what we have present plan.
I don't know if Ashok wants me to reveal this or not, but we are trying to see if we can celebrate the anniversary in the new building. But that's, I think, between, yeah, it doesn't go out anywhere.
Anyway, you are one of us, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't happen, all the tent expenses you give it to us. No problem, you're all one of us. If it happens, it will be great, and our volunteers will be very, very much pleased and relieved, because they have to make number of, they have to work so hard to, make it in the tent. But if this happens, you never know. With Dakshinamurti's blessings and Puja Swamiji's blessings, if it comes through, we'll have our 32nd anniversary in New Hall. If not, it is going to be open sometime. Once again, thanks for all of you for coming here and supporting us. And we really appreciate the generosity and all that you do for Gurukulam. Thank you very much. So now please come one by one and take a Guru Dakshina booklet from Swamiji.
वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीशा
वागीश शरणं शरणं वागीश
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीशा
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीश
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीशा
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीश
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीशा
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीश
सारीश शरणं शरणं सारीशा